What's up guys, David here, and in our speed test, we had the Pixel 4 XL go up against the iPhone 11 Pro Max. But in today's battery test, I decided to switch it up and have it go up against the regular $700 iPhone 11, since the Pixel 4 actually falls right in between these two iPhones in terms of price. And in terms of specs, the Pixel has the advantage of a larger 3700 mAh battery compared to the iPhone 11's smaller 3100 mAh battery. However, the iPhone does have the advantage of a smaller screen and a lower resolution, not to mention the Pixel's display runs at a higher refresh rate of 90 Hz. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Pixel 4 XL stacks up to this regular iPhone 11, because on paper, it seems like these two phones are going to be close, but of course, there's only one real way to find out. This episode is sponsored by Public, which makes it possible to buy any stock with any amount of money that you want, commission-free. So, for example, let's say you want to invest in a company that has a stock price of over $300, but you only feel comfortable investing $50. With Public, you can actually do this, since their tech allows you to buy slices or fractions of a stock instead of having to buy an entire share, allowing you to invest whatever you feel comfortable with up to $10,000 of the money you don't invest in stocks, still earning you 2.5% interest. You can download the Public app for free by heading to public.com or just hit that first link down below. Alright, we'll start things off in the phone test, where each phone will go on the same 1-hour phone call. We have a robot covering the proximity sensor for the majority of this test, with consistent audio coming in from the other end of the phone call in order to put those earpieces to work, where after 1 hour, both phones actually fare pretty well. The iPhone 11 does do slightly better though, pulling 2 percentage points ahead as we move on to the messaging test. What we're doing here is texting back and forth with our automated chatbot to simulate a real-world text messaging conversation. It is worth noting that we've controlled for all of the variables that we could, with each phone having their display's brightness set to 200 nits, and both phones within equal distance of our mini cell tower. And after 1 hour of texting, the two phones perform similarly, with the iPhone doing slightly better once again, increasing its lead to 3 percentage points as we move on to the email test, where we're simply opening up this same set of emails and scrolling through them a couple of times to simulate how you'd read email in real life, where after 1 hour of doing so, the iPhone performs better once again, dropping only 8% compared to the 10% drop on the Pixel, giving the iPhone a 5 percentage point advantage. We'll see if the Pixel can turn things around here in the browser test, where each phone is cycling through the same set of websites. But after 1 hour, that doesn't happen. The iPhone is actually able to add another percentage point to its lead, pulling 6 points ahead as we move on to Instagram, where we're scrolling through the home feed just like you would in real life. And after 1 hour of doing so, both phones perform the same, dropping by an equal 10%, allowing the iPhone 11 to preserve its 6-point lead as we head into the standby test. Now, we do have motion sense enabled on the Pixel 4, a feature that's supposed to wake up the Pixel 4's display anytime it detects like a hand coming in, which even though we're leaving the phone completely alone without waking the display, the feature still may have an effect on battery life. And after 16 hours, there is a pretty big difference between the two. The iPhone drops by 10%, while the Pixel drops by 14%, allowing the iPhone to pull a full 10 points ahead as we move on to the YouTube test. Now, as each phone is working on playing the same set of videos, it is worth noting that not only are the display's brightness equally calibrated, but we've also calibrated the speakers on each phone to the same decibel count to make sure that things are as fair as possible. Where after 1 hour of YouTube binge watching, the iPhone is able to add another 2 percentage points to its lead. So as we move on to the gaming test, things aren't looking so good for the Pixel 4. And even worse, while its 90 Hz display looks great and makes for a better gaming experience, it does come at the cost of higher battery consumption, where after 1 hour of gaming in Alto's Adventure, the Pixel drops by 21% compared to the 15% drop on the iPhone, leaving the Pixel with just 6% of battery remaining as as we head into the Maps test. So as of right now, Google disables the 90Hz refresh rate for Maps, so the Pixel is working at 60Hz here, but with each phone's GPS sensors turned on and with them actively checking for traffic information, it's unlikely to make much of a difference, where after 43 minutes of simulating navigation, the Pixel 4 XL calls it quits. The iPhone 11 still has approximately 14% of battery life remaining at this point, so a pretty big difference between the two, especially when you consider that the iPhone has a smaller battery. And with 10% still remaining on the iPhone as it starts the Spotify test, it's able to go 43 minutes into it before it finally dies, putting the iPhone's total time at 24 hours and 43 minutes, which is a full hour of screen time longer than the Pixel's 23 hours and 43 minutes, making the winner of this battery test the Apple iPhone 11. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.